Hey guys, welcome back to Bob's Fan TV, and today we are doing the season preview for the 2024 season. It's just 2 days away from kicking off now. And yeah, we're just going to be discussing, how we're all feeling heading into the new season, players that we brought in, players we've lost, how well equipped are we heading into this season, and all of that. So yeah, obviously I think this season, I don't know, I think a lot of people are probably feeling a bit negative about it. Um, some may be feeling positive. I don't know. Look, personally, I'm pretty, confident-ish, I suppose, heading into this season. Obviously, I know the season ended, pretty poorly in 2023. Losing the cup final was a hard one to take. Not getting Europe as well after having such a strong start. But I think we have to look at it as even though we weren't good enough in the end, probably not. It was still fine margins. We only finished 2 points off fourth. There was a couple of games towards the end of the season where we lost and probably just cost us. But I think with the recruitment over the off season as well, I think some people are looking at it thinking, well, most of the players we brought in are quite unknown. Obviously we've lost Afalabi, we've lost Ali Kib, we've lost a couple of players that were, maybe important this. I think Afalabi is probably the only one who is probably a big loss. Ali Kib, even though he was a good player for us, was kind of in and out of the team. He wasn't really a starter most weeks. And then all the and other players that have gone as well that probably had to leave. So on outgoings, I don't think we're going to dwell on it too much. Bar Afalabi, obviously, it was going to be a huge miss. But you look at the players that we brought in. Goalkeepers. Obviously with Talbot's situation, we don't know how long he's going to be gone for. So we brought in Kasper Szorazka, a Polish goalkeeper, who recently, I think, most recently played in the second division in Cyprus, which I think some people are kind of looking at thinking, well, is he going to be any good? What kind of level is that compared to the League of Ireland? But we'll see how he gets on anyway. I presume he's going to be number one until Talbot comes back. Um, and yeah, look, I think it's just all about seeing how he gets on. I know he was on trial at a few teams when he was younger, Man United, Rangers. So obviously, that tells you a lot that he was obviously a talented player. So we'll see what comes of him over the season. I've seen a couple of highlights from him. He seems like he has good distribution. He knows how to kick a ball long, and like he seems like a decent shot stopper as well. So we'll see how he gets on. For the defence, we brought in a few new defenders. Rob Horwell's obviously come back. That's one that I think a lot of people are thinking, well, is that more of a sympathy move, or is it actually going to improve us? I think it's the latter. I think he'll improve us. He was always quite a solid defender. Nothing really spectacular, but he always put in a good shift, very reliable. What kind of condition he's going to be in now after 2 years in the States. We don't know. He seems to be a bit lighter, a bit slimmer than what he was previously when he was with the club. He seems to have lost a bit of muscle. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. We has his injury problems as well, which is a slight concern because we're quite light there. Look, I'd still probably expect to sign more players over the next few days. But yeah, I think he'll be a decent addition to the team. He's always been very reliable. He knows the club, he knows the league, he's experienced, bring a bit of leadership back to the defence. So, yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that signing. We brought in Michael Lilander as well, a Estonian right back from Flora Tallinn. Yeah, he's one of the three signings we've made from Estonia. Look at the stats for Flora Tallinn. He was there since 2019. Last season, he made 30 appearances and got 3 goals from right back, which is pretty decent. But yeah, like I said, we don't really know what these players are going to be like. We've seen teams try this in the past in the league. Sligo did it with a few lads from Estonia, and they didn't quite work out. Where you look at Marcus Puma, Shamrock Rovers, and he's done quite well there. So it's probably either going to go one or two ways. He's either going to be very good or not so great. But hopefully it's the first one anyway. He seems like a decent player anyway. He's been capped by Estonia a few times. You don't think you're no mug if you've been capped by your national team anyway. Look, I know Estonia, I don't know, the quality of the league there mightn't be as good as what it is here. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm not quite sure. Can't say I've watched the Estonian league, but I'm pretty pleased with this signing. I think, we've had a bit of depth to that right back spot. Him and Barrett, we're pretty solid there now. We've got two pretty decent right backs. Look at the rest of the defence. Paddy Kirk, he's solid. I know he had a bit of a mixed season last year. I thought there were times where he looked good and maybe not so great at other times, but I still think he's a decent defender. Kane Byrne, a big season from him as well. He could be one to watch. He looked very good when he came into the team towards the back end of the season. I expect him to kick on again this season. And yeah, I think the defense is probably the main thing where we're looking at it thinking, oh, that's a big concern, and the lack of depth there. But I still think we'll bring in a few more defenders, hopefully anyway, before the window closes on the 22nd, I think. So yeah, that'll be one to watch. But yeah, I think the players that we have there are quite good, but we still need a few additions there. Moving into midfield, um, you've got the new signings in Martin Miller, who's another Estonian, who his stats look quite encouraging when he was at Flora Tallinn. 2017 when he first came into the first team in Flora Tallinn, he got 10 goals in 28 games. 2022, then, in previous years, five appearances in 2018, 2 goals, 26 appearances in 2019, 5 goals, 7 assists, 2020, 5 goals, 2 assists, 2021, 1 goal, 4 assists, 2022, 11 goals, 6 assists, and then last season, 5 goals and 8 assists and 35 appearances. So, look, those stats are quite encouraging. I think he's been captain, I think, over 30 times for Estonia, which is, quite good. He was a player that I remember seeing him, I think, play for Flora Tallinn against Rovers a couple of years ago, and he looked quite good in that game. He scored two nice goals. So yeah, he's definitely one to watch. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what he can do. He looks like a player that has good pedigree. Obviously, it's like I have with most of the players that we've signed. I've seen a few highlights of them, and look, I know you can't really base a player off that because any player can look good based on a highlight reel on YouTube, but he does seem like a very good player on the ball, a good range of passing, he has an eye for a goal, which is what we've needed in midfield for a little while. I think, obviously we've got James Clark who can create, but I think we've lacked that player who can play deep, can play as a 10 as well, who can score goals and provide, something going forward. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. Suppose on to other midfielders that we signed, Dale Rooney, obviously he's more from winger, but you can sort of count him as a midfielder. Brought him in from Draw. I think this is probably one of our better signings. He impressed me a lot when he was at Drogheda last season. Look at the stats: 4 goals and 8 assists in 33 games. He's an exciting player. Has a great left foot on him. Great left on him, and he can score goals from anywhere really. We've seen him score crackers for Drogheda before. Good on a free kick. I think he's a player that we probably lacked in the last few seasons. He's a player that can excite fans. And yeah, look, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. Like I said, he's always impressed me when he's playing for Drogheda. He's probably him and Cornwall. I know it's a risk. Him and Cornwall are probably the only two players that we brought in that know the league well and have played in it and been and done well in it before. But yeah, I think this is a good signing. He can play anywhere really. He can play as 10, any side of the wing. He'll definitely bring something to the team. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. Um, Onto another signing we've made, Sten Reincourt, striker from Estonia. Yeah, look, like with Lolander and Miller, you don't know what you're really gonna get from him. Decent enough goal scoring record in Estonia. At Flora Tallinn, maybe not so much, but when he was on loan at a few clubs, I think. Uh, God, I'm not even going to pronounce that team's name, but he scored 15 goals there in 36 appearances. Flora Tallinn in 2023, 19 appearances, 6 goals. I think he went back to that team on loan then, nine appearances, 3 goals. So it's all right, I guess. You don't know what you're really going to get from these players. Like, look, it's probably not fair to make a proper judgment on them. Right at this moment because we haven't seen them play yet. But look, like I said about Lelander and Miller, I've seen some highlights of him. He's very he's tall. He must be about 6'4", 6'5". He's very controlling. he can take the ball down when knocked long. He looks like a real physical threat, which is, I think that's quite encouraging. And we don't really know. Is he going to be the main striker? Are we going to bring another one in? I don't know. I know that's the rumor at the moment that there might be another striker coming in. We don't know, but yeah. Look, I think it's just important to give him time. If he doesn't hit the ground running, let's not jump on his back too early. He's coming into a new league, and then if he doesn't start hitting the ground, hit the ground running straight away, then I think it'd be harsh with criticism. But look, we'll see how these lads get on. From the business we've done, I think it's pretty decent. Obviously, th- three or four of them are unknown, but we'll see how they get on. And look, even excluding the new signings, I think the squad's pretty settled already. We haven't lost anyone major bar off Alabi. You still got Dylan Conley, Danny Grant, Adam McDonald, James McManus, James Clark, Jordan Flores, James Akintunde, Keith Buckley, Bart, Paddy Kirk, Kane Byrne, Talbot. There's still obviously we know he's going to be gone for a bit, but McDade, we still got players there that had done well for us last season. I think there's going to be a big season for Danny Grant in particular. Obviously, we knew when he came back in the summer that he's probably not going to hit the ground running. He's going to take a bit of time to get fit. Obviously, he had a few injuries over in England, and he didn't quite, break into the Huddersfield first time. He played a few games at Harrogate on loan, but it's probably going to take him time to get his fitness going. And hopefully now that he has a pre-season under his belt, we'll see something more from him than we did in the summer, because or the second half of last season even, because I think if we can even get half the player he was the first time around, and he can always be like a new signing for us. Dylan Condy, he had a great second half of last season. I think the only thing for him is that we probably want to see him contribute more in terms of goals and assists. Last season in the league he made 28 appearances and only got 3 assists. Obviously, he probably scored the most important goal of the season. That's a funny thing out in Galway, but I think we want to see a bit more from him in terms of contributing to more goals and more assists and all that. But yeah, I think he'll continue to impress this season. I feel we still got good options in midfield. James Clark, obviously we know what we're going to get from him. He was fantastic last season. Brilliant on the ball, great dribbler, can carry the ball. He'll be a key player for us this season. Still got Flores as well, McDonald, McManus, Boko when he comes back from his injury as well. So yeah, look, Miller, we're pretty stocked up in midfield. Obviously we got Akintunde as well, and McDade, Rooney, Grant, Conley as your options on the wing. And yeah, I think in attacking in midfield, I think we could probably do with one more striker. But I think once we get that striker, I think we're pretty sound in the attack, and I think we're already pretty sound in midfield. It's just the defence really that I think needs a bit of improvement. Obviously, we still need a couple of centre backs. So I think, obviously it's the 14th when I'm recording this. Hopefully by the 22nd when the window closes, we'll have another couple of centre backs in, because we're going to need them. Let's be honest, because we know Cornwall, based off his injury record, we can't really rely on him to stay fit the whole season. So it's very important we get another couple of centre backs in. But the squad as a whole is pretty good, I think. I think it's definitely capable of doing well. Obviously, look, I'm seeing a lot of people saying that we could finish as low as seventh or eighth, but I don't think so. I still think, like I said in my predictions video, we'll be closer to Europe than I think than the relegation battle. I think. So yeah, that's the squad as a whole. Really, it's pretty strong. I feel, and I think it's capable of doing well. Just as just to touch on things, heading into the season, you look at our first few games, and I think we are capable of having another good start like we did last season. Look, the first game is Sligo at home; it's a very winnable game. Then we got Pats away. Yeah, it's difficult, but it's not impossible. To go there and get something, even win it. Dundalk at home, it's a winnable game. Drogheda away, winnable game. Shells at home, another fairly winnable game. I think. Look, it's going to be difficult, obviously, because Shells will be probably pushing for Europe as well as us. But it's going to be, I think it's going to be a tight game, but I think it's something that it's a game we can definitely win. So yeah, look, I think the fixture list for the start of the season, I think it's pretty favourable, and we've got a good opportunity to have a good start. And look, there's going to be pressure on Devine, no doubt about it. He's probably one of the favourites to get sacked first. I actually don't think he'll get sacked at all. I think I can probably see him last in the season. Now that might be a bit of a bold opinion, but I can see him last in the season. I don't think it's going to go too bad for. We probably need to sack him, but that could age poorly. But I don't think it's going to get that bad. We're going to have to make a change. But there's going to be pressure on him to have a good start. And you look at the first few fixtures, and I think there's definitely a possibility for us to go and pick up some points. You know, with the current squad, I think it's more than capable of doing quite well. And with this being the last, probably this is probably the last season where with Daily Mount in his current form, obviously with the great news, of course, that the plan of admission has been accepted for the redevelopment of it. I think this is probably going to be our last season in Daily Mount as we know it in its current form. So I think it's important that we do make it a special one. I think we park the negativity. Obviously we know there's been negativity about the place for the last few months over the off season with the lack of recruitment and stuff like that. But I think it's important that we park negativity now and just focus on this season, try and be a bit more positive. I don't think it's all doom and gloom really. I think people are probably looking into it too much. I think there's a good squad there with a pretty capable manager. I think I'm still backing Devine. I know some people are on the fence about him. I'm still backing him. I still think he'll do a good job. I think we'll do okay this season. Look, I know people are going to probably looking at this and saying, "Well, you're being a bit too positive there," but I don't know. I think if you look at the squad, I think it's more than capable of doing well. And yeah, look, who knows what to expect from this season? Like I said, it's hard to predict the table. Well, I found it hard to predict the table in every last predictions video. It really could go either way. It really could. Particularly in those sort of mid-table spots and in the European spots as well. But I still think we're going to do well. I think we're going to finish fifth this season, which look, it's still not Europe, but I think we'll probably just narrowly miss out, which will be unlucky. It will be another desperately unlucky season because I think based on the form we showed for most of the season, we probably deserved to be. Wouldn't say we deserved to be in Europe, but we were only 2 points off it. It was fine margins. And this season I think it'll be another tight season. But like I said, it's a good squad. It's full of good players. We've got Estonian internationals who will be desperate to impress. Um, there's still, obviously goals is probably the issue, isn't it? We don't really know where the goals are going to come from. If Court doesn't hit the ground running, who's going to score our goals? Is it going to be Rooney? Is it going to be Grant? Is it going to be, Miller or whoever? I don't know. That's probably the only concern. But I think there just seems to be talk that another striker will be coming in. So we'll see how that materialises. But yeah, that's it for the preview, really. I know I'm pretty optimistic heading into this season. Look, I know some people maybe aren't, but hey, look, we'll see how we get on. Look, it's all about just trying to have a good start. It's important not to look too deep into it. Because it's a long season. Obviously, from February to November, anything can happen. These new signings, these Estonian lads could be brilliant, they could be poor, who knows? But yeah, I'm pretty optimistic heading into the season. But look, maybe you aren't, maybe some are, maybe some share my opinion. I don't know. Look, let us know in the comments what you're thinking heading into this season. Where do you think we're going to finish? Where are you looking for? Which players looking forward to seeing? And yeah, look, I'll have a preview out for the Sligo game tomorrow as well. We'll talk about the game more in depth. And yeah, I'll see you then. Bye bye.